Disclaimer 18, my ex had an incest relationship with his sister. Anyways, background on this dude. He had an extremely traumatic childhood. Like locked in a room for a few days while mama smokes meth type shit. Obviously, there's a ton more things. But me being naive and empathetic and young, this was a big reason why I stayed. So his addiction to porn was insane. Like I'd catch him every day and just be in total pain over it. Mind you, the type of porn revolved around white women that I am not. So for some reason, I made it a point to always throw that in his face. I know, kinda dumb, I should have just left, but I was trauma bonded as hell with him. Fast forward a bit. One of his friends told me that Jack said he'd have a threesome with me and my cousin, whom he said was a sister to him. LOL. I broke up with him then, and he left and literally went homeless in a different state. But MYX had an incest relationship with his sister. So I was in a 4-year on and off relationship with this guy. We'll call him Jack. The first 6 months we were head over heels over each other. Deeply in love to the point where it was probably mentally ill, LOL. Anyways, after the honeymoon phase had settled, I caught him watching porn. And me being young and ignorant, I took that to heart, and it kind of made me go insane. I got extremely. A month later on, he called me and confessed to me that the reason he had a strong addiction to white girl porn is because him and his sister used to be sexual growing up, but they never actually did it. Literally, he told me they started it when she was in diapers, and he was like 4 years old. My dumbass took him back and tried to make it work, thinking that him confessing this was a step into rehabilitation and we could actually make it work. I was wrong. It started feeling like I was competing against his sister in my own insecure little head. And the relationship became fucking weird. At this time, he wasn't speaking to his sister or mother. The mom hated me even though I did literally nothing to her. So he ended up cutting her off when we first started dating. One day, he started talking about how he wanted a normal relationship with them again. I forget how that all happened, but he got into contact with his sister again. The weird thing to me about this was that once they got in contact and they followed each other's social media, she had photos of her ass on there and also added him to her private story. That shit had me sick, but I couldn't ever admit to myself that their dynamic could still be like this even after them growing up. There was also another convo we had. On some spiritual weird shit, I got a flash image in my head of his mom dressing provocatively in front of him intentionally, so I asked him if this was true. He said yes. I told him I felt like she did this on purpose to get sexual validation from him, cause that's literally what the vibe was. Oddly enough, the following day, he tells me he reached out to her to reconnect. I thought that was weird. So, we end up officially splitting, and he'd hit me up sometimes. Fast forward about 6 months later, he FaceTimes me because he was going through some super deep suicidal shit, and I was trying to help him out. He confessed to me that he wanted to kill himself because him and his sister would actually do it till he was about 17 years old. That's when we got together. He also said that he could feel the vibe from his mom. When they went on a trip together, and it was just them two, he said that he should have done it with his mom. Like, bro. It made sense now why the mom and sister both hated me and claimed that I took him away from his family. I've just been thinking about this lately. I haven't spoken to him in over a year, but I think I'm just processing all of it now that I'm in a way better headspace. I'm also just disgusted that I slept with him for 4 years basically. The entire relationship itself was so traumatizing I didn't even scratch the surface, but the entire sister thing is one of the worst. It also doesn't help that the sister has some fame on TikTok. I've seen her a couple times on there and get an overwhelming sense of disgust mixed with empathy because her entire gimmick is being lustful and showing her ass. Also, seeing so many people consume her content, it's just disturbing on my end knowing the root cause of why she's even showing herself off like this is because it's literally engraved into her nervous system to be sexually explicit due to the nature of her upbringing. I just needed to let this out. I don't hate any of them. I just get deeply disturbed knowing how close I was to this dude and feeling taunted seeing her on my TikTok. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to my channel. There are many great stories for you on my channel. Thank you for watching.